Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating.
Sam installs a new radiator in the '67 Camaro. He decided to keep things looking original with a black brass radiator from US Radiators. The larger capacity radiator will make sure that this Camaro runs nice and cool.
Now, you guys know I had to remove the radiator from this Camaro to install the accessories. So I called US Radiators and got me an OEM unit in a brass form. They do have aluminum with electric fans, but I wanted to keep this thing looking somewhat original underneath the hood. Now, US Radiators, they're known for their desert cooler. They're made in America, over 50 years old. And they not only have radiators, but they've got electrical kits for the fan, and they got the fans themselves. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one installed. Now, the reason I have to put the fan on first is because when the radiator is in place, there is no room for me to put the fan onto the snout of the water pump. So I took the radiator out. I'm putting the fan in first. I put cardboard on the face of the radiator so I don't damage it putting it in. And what we're using here is a clutch fan. I recommend if you guys are using a flex fan, if you have the room or have the opportunity to change it out to a clutch fan, it's a much better way to go. The radiator on these cars are bolted in place through the core support, and one of my bolts are going to use the factory threads, but the other three are not. So you want to make sure to use a flat washer and a lock washer with your nut, making sure that it does not loosen on you. Got everything installed, now we're ready to fill up the system, and there's a couple of different ways you can do this. Now, what I got here is a funnel that you could pick up at your local auto parts store. This is probably the best way to fill up your system. It comes with everything you need for your radiator. Now, if you have an expansion tank, it's not gonna work for you. But an expansion tank has self-bleeding capabilities within it. When you go to fill up your newer car that's got an expansion tank or anything that really lasts 30 years, some of the models will have one. You want to take time and fill up your expansion tank, letting gravity do its thing, letting the bleeder within the system perform, and it'll take all the air out. In a situation like this, you can put the funnel in place. The funnel's the highest point of the system, which is going to naturally get the air to come out as you fill up the funnel. You can make it really easy on yourself and loosen a heater hose on top of the intake manifold. That'll create a bleeder valve, and when you fill this up, it's going to go in, letting the air out of the top of the engine, filling up that engine completely with coolant. When you do that, it's a lot less likely you're going to have air in the system. Now, some of your imports have a bleeder valve. You can just very easily loosen that and take care of it that way. Being that it's a domestic like this, and this only works on domestic cars, you go in, turn it on, rev it up to about 2.5 RPM, the water pump's gonna suck in the water and you're gonna fill it up. That does work, but there's a possibility you're gonna have air in the system. If you do it that way, all you gotta do is heat up the car, let it sit overnight. In the morning, open the cap, top it off, you should be good. Make sure the reservoir is full and you'll have no issues. I love these funnels. Not only does it do a good job of filling up the system, but it does a really good job of getting all the air out of it. And it makes it easy for you to fill up the reservoir just by doing that. Now remember, when you guys are doing the cooling system maintenance, always remember, don't forget the radiator cap and the thermostat. Go ahead and replace them while you're doing this. Everything works together.